Hi, good morning, class 7. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing fine, good. And what do you say? You all are fit and fine and taking care of yourself. And what to say? Doing your studies also. And you must have had fun. Sunday, Saturday, all enjoyed your life. So we'll be on this book today, the English folder book. Okay, course book number 7. This one, the English folder. Okay. Okay. So we are going to do that, and we'll go to the poem part, or it's a poetry. It's a poem type written by Walter de la Mare, 1873 to 1956. Okay, so who wrote poems, short stories, and novels. Some of his best known works include the anthology of Peacock Pie, the novel Henry Brocken, and the short story Seaton's Aunt. De la Mare is remarkable for the wide variety of genres that his writing covered. His style of writing is considered to be romantic with elements of dreams, mystery, fantasy, and supernatural issues. Very romantic, he gets into love with it. When you fall in love with something, it's called romance. So it's not only girl and boy romance. Romance, you can romance your horse, you can romance I romance my bike very much. My bike is my girlfriend, and my car is also my crush. I love my car, and it's a crush. They speak to me, and they talk to me, and I talk to them. There are words. You do that. You know what's happening, and it's very good. You get very engrossed with them, so you feel in love. You fall in love. So you don't have to fall in love only with the opposite sex or the female person. The opposite sex is the female or the male, or the female doesn't have to fall in love with the male person. That love does not happen with only person to person. It happens with everything. You fall in romance, you romance that thing, you enjoy that feeling. And he also puts his dreams into it, mystery into it, fantasies. Fantasies are the things which we try to get influenced by. We think we want to have those things, dreams. Supernatural, which are not natural, which are more than natural. So he is very known for that. So the poem is called The Listeners. It's not a poem, it's actually a poetry. So it's written with a lot of feelings. It's called poetry. When you have actual meaning out of it, it's called a poetry. Stories also do have meanings, but it's taken as a story because it's longer than a poetry and doesn't have anything to it. Yes, it does add up to result. So everything with poetry is much more, when you write something about when you are in love with that and you want to explain more about it, it's called poetry. When there is syncing of lines, there is syncing of your thoughts, it's called poetry. Have you ever had the feeling that you were being watched or heard although you were in a room alone? Mystery. There are many things that we can feel but are unable to explain logically. Sometimes these feelings or intuition, while at other times they could simply be a coincidence also. Now read this poem that tells the story of a lonely traveler and see if you can unravel the mystery. Unravel means to open that mystery, to go into that. So to know something, a mystery, we have to dig into it. We have to know something about it so that it becomes much more easier for us to understand. So we'll read. The more you read, the more you will come to know. Book is answer to all your questions. Knowledge is answer to all your questions. If you ask, you will find. If you see, you will. If you seek, you will find. If you ask, you will hear. And if you look for, you will find it. You will see it. Ask, you will get it. That is the theme of today for me. In each and every class I'm explaining it. You have to have those questions inside you. You have to ask. I cannot get inside your body or get inside your stomach to go and ask what is your problem or what are your questions. You have to fight for yourself. Suppose you are reading something you're not able to understand, put it into a different way, different angles. Try to think and take out answers from different angles, right? We are going to the market, suddenly there is a jam, we take another road. We'll reach the market, either we'll reach 5 minutes late or 5 minutes earlier, but we don't take that same route. Our main aim is to reach there, the market. How we will reach, that depends upon us, which ways we'll take. Some are tough, some are good, some are fast, some are easy. And easy ways don't take you to success. They'll go and drop you somewhere else. We'll come to that later. So, this thing says about here, have you ever had that feeling? Suppose you're sitting alone in a room, sometimes you think someone is watching you or someone is seeing you. Suppose if there's a camera, it's not working. Suppose in our school, in the classroom, there's a camera, but you also know it's not working, right? But you're sitting alone, every 15 seconds or 1 minute, you will automatically look to the camera. You think, I hope anyone is looking at me or what? Has it become alright? Or someone is watching me, I should sit straight, I should put my shirt straight, I should sit like this, I should sit like that. Is someone looking at me? We always have that feeling that someone is looking at us or feeling us, or we are trying, that intuition, the sixth sense. It sometimes does happen. We cannot explain it logically, this is what it's happening, but it happens. Sometimes these feelings are intuition, while at other times this could simply be just a coincidence. I was just thinking about it. It can be a coincidence. That yes, someone is looking at you. Someone is looking out from the window to you and hiding and looking at you. When you can't see anyone looking at you, that means that other person is hiding, is trying to watch you. That's when we feel odd. Our sixth sense, our intuition tells us that you are being watched. Or whatever the circumstances may be. So first I'll read and then I'll explain. Okay? Is there anybody there? Said the traveller, knocking on the moonlit door, and his horse in silence champed the grasses. On the forest's ferny floor, and a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveller's head. And he smote upon the door again a second time. Is anybody there? He said. Mystery. That means the traveller has come with his horse, or a traveller has come. We don't know that if he is there on his horse. Yes, he has come with his horse, and he is a traveller. He stopped at a place at night, moonlit night, and he is trying to see if anyone is there in a house. He's gone to a house to see if anyone is there. He might stop over, or he wants hungry, or he's looking for a place, anything we don't know yet. So as he got down from his horse, he went and started knocking. Is anybody there? And the horse is champing. If you stop at a horse and you get down from a horse, it will look for food, it will try to eat. So champing is chewing on grass. Horses make a noise while eating because they have the stirrups in their mouth. It's going to make a noise, kachar machar. It's going to make that noise, when they're eating. And horses is shaking, so actually the reins, they are here and it is filled up. Stirrups are for the legs, sorry. So they make a noise when they are chewing. And as silence champed, it's quiet all outside and it's champing only. You can hear someone chewing something, and a bird just flew over from the turret. Turret is the top pillar part of the building. If there's a building like this, there's a small tower always, so where birds and all stay inside. On our ventilators also birds stay sometimes. I have got few birds in the ventilator. So I have covered it so that they don't dirty my room, so that we can make their house stay there, but don't disturb me. So he was knocking on the door, there was a noise, so that bird flew away. It's night time. Imagine the situation. And he smote upon the door again, with a loud noise. He said, is anybody there? But no one descended to the traveller, No head from the leaf fringed sill, leaned over and looked into his grey eyes, where he stood perplexed and still, but only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then stood listening in the quiet moonlight to that voice from the world of men stood thronging and faint moonbeams on the dark hair, on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall, hearkening in an air stirred and shaken by the lonely traveller's call, and he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved cropping the dark turf neath and starred and leafy sky. I'll read it again in the next video.